Hey there guys, how's it going? My name is Sumit Chatterjee from the Flow Zone Academy, and I'm a flow state coach, which means that I help you feel better and perform better. Now, psychology has always been talking about different kinds of psychology quizzes and tests and personality tests and psychometrics. It's always interested me because having these different maps can teach us a lot about different things and help us with our own self-actualization and self-exploration and growth in life. So I recently took the test of the Soul Elements quiz. Now this is very interesting because I believe that we all have aspects of this, but we are probably predominantly one of these most of the time. However, I think thinking of this as a combination approach and adapting and weaving, almost like looking at it like if you guys are a fan of Avatar, like airbender, waterbender, earthbender, firebender. And understanding that you have a mix of these elements within ourselves, we all have a mix of these elements, and maybe we're more of one and not the other, and we are not the evolved version of these characteristics. So sometimes these characteristics can be taken in a negative pole or in a negative way. Of course, that's kind of dualistic thinking, but if you think about it, anything too much has an issue. So we always have to calibrate and figure out what is the sweet spot. Where are we functioning the most fluid? First two are going to be yang energies, much more masculine, directive, and a lot more yang-like energy, right? And one is a negative or dark, feminine energy. The first two are fire and air, okay? So fire, think about what fire is. It burns. It's bright, it's vibrant, there's a lot of vitality there. There's this courage, this willingness to take risk, this action, this courage, this spontaneity. I imagine these people being the life of the party, like very, very extroverted, going out there, being very social, taking life's challenges and just pushing forward into things, pushing into their fears, and going forward, being a little bit dominant, right, going into the world. And, a lot of these people, they can be very blunt. They can say things very straightforward. They can be very angry. They can be impatient when taken to an extreme. Okay, so fire people can get burnt out. Makes sense, doesn't it? Burnout, okay, has the word burn in it. So, how is a fire person, can you calm that fire down when you want to? You've got to pace yourself. Okay, you've got to pace yourself. You've got to figure out okay, I am getting way too angry. I'm being too forceful here, and I've got to flow instead of force myself right now. I've got to let go of the wheel and let the universe take the wheel for me. Just for a second. Just pacing myself better and stepping back for a little bit to notice what is happening. Okay? If you're pushing too hard, this is the remedy for that. The next one is air. This is the one that I got. I feel like I'm a combination of both, but I could definitely see this air quality that I have. So air people, again, very yang, very logical, abstract reasoning, witty, intellectual, language weavers. I would say that we're kind of like the magicians or wizards, like the mad scientists, kind of like problem solving. And the issue is these guys were so... These guys, I'm saying it, I am a air element, so I could say that this to an extreme could make us very in our own heads a lot, very manipulative, very overthinking. This is why meditation is very, very important tool for these kinds of people. Air elements. You see, air is everywhere, if you think about it, right? It's you'd rather be the wind rather than a leaf in the wind. Of course, you understand that if you are the wind, you are everywhere, you're present in all directions, so you might even feel a little bit scattered. Your job as the air element is to notice your flightiness, then bring yourself back to a core presence, and really, really give yourself the container of space and a structure in your life so that you can thrive. The next one is water, all right? You would think I was water because I talk about the flow state a lot, and I definitely feel like I have water qualities as well. However, I notice I have all of these qualities, and that's why I'm telling you guys you could have all of these qualities, right? What would be earth and water? It would be like your soul element would be like mud, right? So water, okay, yin, very feminine. These are like healers. I feel like healers who remind us of vulnerability in life. There's a lot of emotions there, a lot of intuition, imagination. Imagination come from the word image or mage. Again, this magician quality, this kind of flexibility and reflective nature, being able to think of things, ponder things, giving great advice, being very creative and very mediating, understanding of others, and very sensitive. Uh, if you're an empath, this is what you're feeling as well, this kind of emotional realm, right? Emotions have always been associated with water. From the fact of Jesus walking on water, he's able to rise above his emotions and like really look at things from his own perspective, right? Or just, water in terms of astrology, water signs. I know some people, don't always look at astrology this way, but again, these signs are used in astrology as well, right? Fire, water, earth, air. And so elements can definitely affect you. If you're a water sign, you probably notice a lot more water qualities within you. I'm a triple water sign, okay? So that's a very interesting combination, of course. So I do notice that, but I am definitely starting to invite and emanate in terms of getting in touch with much more of my yang quality as well. This is all a perspective thing, and you don't have to take this completely accurately, right? You can take it with a grain of salt and learn what you can from it. I mean, I will link the test down below so you can take it and figure out which one am I? Which one am I? Which one? Am I this one or this one? Doesn't really matter. Again, it's nice to have another perspective. And interestingly enough, I think that also there is a wealth dynamics quiz that you can take, I believe, which teaches you, again, you have like a blaze, a dynamo energy as well, and all these things going into that as well. I mean, there's lots of tests you can take, but I think the soul element one is very particularly interesting as well. So again, the last one, oh yeah, so for water people, water people, like, so the water weavers, the water benders of the world, this is the advice that I want to give you. Well, if you are a water, it sounds so weird to say that, but yeah, anyway, if your soul element is water, you want to let go of your fears, pains, grudges of the past, right? We tend to be less resting on our laurels a lot. So I would say allow that to strengthen your storyline and become more resilient. Resilience is the key word here. Then we have Earth. Okay, Earth is groundedness, as you know, Mother Gaia. But again, this is much more of a yang energy because of that groundedness. But again, don't take yin and yang, masculine, feminine essence as male and female. Okay, please don't do that because it's just overcomplicates things. And we can see this as much more of a solidity, a groundedness, a stability, a routine, order, regulation, traditional, managerial. They love structure, control. These people might be stubborn or maybe set in their ways a lot, so they don't like breaking out of old patterns and structures and habits. So my advice to these people would be just to be much more open-minded, take a lot more risks, be open to new ideas, new concepts, new insights. And by doing that, you will slowly start to find that midpoint. This is all a balancing act, so I'm sure a lot of you guys out there can find ways to combine these different approaches. Like, yeah, you can be fire, and then put a little bit of water there to sort of calm it down, as well as add some air to that, and then right, get that fire to grow brighter at times, because sometimes by fanning the fire out, it can put it out, but then it can also make it stronger at times. Okay, so also understanding that Earth is the thing below our feet, right? So understanding that that has an element with, even the chakra system. So the root, the ground, right? Muladhara, root support, as well as going into the sacral, which is in water. Fire again, which is the navel, right? So it's like yang, yin, yang, yin, yang, yin, yin yang. Right? Or it could even, I guess that's how I see it. I'm not too sure if that's the model, but that's how I kind of imagine this. And in Hinduism, they call it Ida Pingala, and the Shushumna is kind of like the main center, right? So what is your soul element? I'm very interested to know, so leave it in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, show some love, share it with your friends, And make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. Have an amazing day. May the flow be with you and stay legendary.